Have you ever been hurt so deeply by someone that forgiveness seemed impossible? Have you ever asked yourself, how can I possibly love someone who has caused me so much pain? Welcome back to the channel. It's a blessing to have you with us today, because we're about to explore one of the most difficult and most transformational challenges in life: how to deal with hostile relationships. Whether it's betrayal from a friend, cruelty from a stranger, or abuse from someone close, we all carry wounds that seem too deep to heal. But what if I told you that there was a way not just to survive such hatred, but to transform it into compassion, clarity, and even liberation? That's exactly what one humble monk did. And his story will not only astonish you, it will change how you see your enemies, your pain, and yourself. This is the story of a monastic brother who was assigned to help care for a mentally unstable practitioner in the temple. This practitioner was known for his erratic and sometimes violent behavior. Other monks avoided him. Many feared him. He had driven away several caretakers with his insults, outbursts, and aggressive conduct. But one monk, let's call him Brother Ming, volunteered to stay. He didn't ask for special rules. He didn't request backup. He simply stayed. For months, Brother Ming served this difficult man, cleaning up after him, feeding him, enduring his mood swings, even taking care of him when he became physically aggressive. Other monks watched in disbelief. Finally, someone asked him, "Why do you keep doing this? Or not obligated? Why don't you leave?" Brother Ming smiled and said, "Because he's the Buddha in his most painful disguise." That's the first key. Brother Ming didn't see this man as a problem to fix. He saw him as a teacher, not of philosophy but of compassion. And it gets deeper. One day, the troubled man had a particularly violent episode. He threw food, screamed obscenities, and accused Brother Ming of poisoning him. Brother Ming's face was splattered with food, his body bruised, his eyes wide but calm. He didn't shout back. He didn't retreat. Instead, he picked up the bowl, cleaned the mess, bowed, and whispered, "May you be free from suffering." At night, the violent man cried for hours. The next day, for the first time in years, he spoke gently. Within a month, his episodes lessened. Within a year, he left the monastery, not because he was cured, but because he had seen a different way to be. Brother Ming didn't just care for a difficult man. He transformed the energy of hatred into healing. Not by force, not by preaching, but by living the Dharma. And here's the lesson: your greatest enemy is often your greatest spiritual training. Because they trigger your ego. They expose your limits. They reveal your hidden judgments. And if you stay awake, they become your mirror. The Buddha never promised that life would be easy. He promised that it could be awakened through. And that awakening often comes through the people who irritate us most. So how do we apply this in our own lives? Let's be honest. You might not be living in a monastery. You might be dealing with a difficult boss, a toxic relative, an unfaithful partner. But the principle remains the same. They are not your enemy. Your reactions are. Hatred isn't what they do, it's what you hold. Suffering isn't caused by others' acts, it's caused by your attachment to how they should be. And that's where your freedom lies. Brother Ming teaches us three things. See the Buddha in disguise. Everyone is a being in pain. Their aggression is their wound. Their rudeness is their mask. When you see through it, your heart softens. Respond, don't react. Take a breath. Return to your center. Speak from clarity, not from emotion. Practice invisible compassion. You don't need to fix them. You don't even need to stay, but you can always wish them peace. Silently, sincerely, constantly. And here's the paradox. The more you do this, the less power their behavior has over you. You stop being a victim. You start being a practitioner. And slowly, the chains fall away. Let me share another story. Woman was cheated on by her husband. The betrayal shattered her. For years, she carried bitterness. Every time she saw his face, her stomach turned. Then she met a Dharma teacher. The teacher said, "Do you want to be free?" She said yes. Then stop rehearsing the pain. Stop feeding the story. Begin sending him compassion every day. She was furious. But he doesn't deserve it. The teacher smiled and said, "Compassion is not for him, it's for you." So she began. First, it felt fake. Then it felt awkward. Then it felt neutral. And one day, it felt true. She didn't take him back, but she took her life back. That's the power of compassion. Not weak, not passive. Radically liberating. Because when you refuse to mirror the hatred given to you, you break the cycle. You become the alchemist of pain, turning anger into understanding, turning wounds into wisdom, turning separation into spaciousness. Brother Ming understood this. So did the woman. So can you. The world doesn't need more warriors of revenge. It needs warriors of love. Quiet warriors. Humble warriors. The next time someone hurts you, ask, "Can I see their pain? Can I stop feeding the story? Can I choose presence over poison?" And if not yet, that's okay. Try again tomorrow. Because every moment you choose compassion, you heal yourself a little more. Thank you for watching this video. If you've ever faced someone difficult, if you've struggled to forgive or understand someone who wronged you, please share your story in the comments. Your courage might be the mirror someone else needs. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and let's keep building a world where hatred has no home and compassion becomes the default. Until next time, may you be brave enough to love in the face of anger, and wise enough to see the Buddha in everyone you meet.